Okay, welcome everyone to Clans of Ireland session on clan gathering best practices. We have four eminent speakers. We'll start with Shane O'D of the OD clan, who's been very active for quite many years and have done some very innovative actions, including in partnership with local authorities. That's something that I think is important to all of us. Then Dr. Joe Mannion, who's also from Galway, where I am sitting right now. Mannion clan is not as old as the OD in terms of being reformed, but also a lot of innovative stuff. And of course, Joe being an historian, there is a strong historical flavor on all different dimensions of history associated with the clan gathering. Then Ambassador Frank O'Domhnaihll, who's the president of the O'Domhnaihll Clan Association, will speak of how they've been actually growing since 1953, if I recall correctly. Oh, he's there. And we'll finish with Kieran O'Dowd, an interesting clan O'Dowd, because they're not as many as others, but they're very innovative. Particularly, if I may raise this before I forget, they actually had a session of teaching Irish, key Irish words. Not very academic, I would say, but it was very enjoyable, and they had about 80 people attending. So let me go to. I will pull up the slide again. And we will start with Shane. And please, everyone, if you could go on mute, that would be much better, easier for the speakers. Okay? Shane, you have the floor.
I have the floor. Thank you. Shane O'D is my name, and I am a former chieftain of the OD clan. I'm a former chairperson of the OD clan, but I continue to be a deputy chairperson because it's so important to have boots on the ground here in Ireland. I'm based in Blackrock in Dublin. I did see the flooding of the railway lines where the Dart goes through not too far from me. And what I'd like to do is just to take you through what we have been doing since the early 90s in respect of our clan gathering. And I'll take you through some salient points in relation to that. But before I get maybe to that boring aspect, I might just share some colourful details with you. So, Michael, I'll take the next slide. I do come from Ennis in County Clare, and I have been living and working in Dublin most of my working life, but it's like anything. A native loves his native shore, and I still have great links with County Clare. I still have uncles who farm down in the Burren. And my family, my dad and my grandfather, my great-grandfather would have come from a little townland called Ballyganner or Ballia East Duckera, if I'm saying it right, which was the townland of the stranger. And that's near Kilfenora in County Clare, which back in its heyday actually had a cathedral. The family farm is still there. My first cousin runs it. I go down and meet him regularly. We walk the land. And what's interesting about the landscape there, there's quite a number of antiquities and tombstones and passage graves that are in existence and have been there for at least 1,000 years. So it's wonderful to talk and walk the countryside down there. We're very fortunate in that we have a castle stroke tower house in Dysert OD, and it was built by a Diarmid OD, part of the Dalcash clan, and that was built in the 15th century near Corofin in County Clare. Unfortunately, it was badly damaged by the Cromwellian forces back in 1651. The castle is currently owned by John O'Day III from Wisconsin, who purchased the castle back in the 1970s, and it has been really well refurbished. And we're very fortunate to have that, and I'll talk a little bit more about it later on, insofar as that is our home place. It's where people really look forward to attending over our Clann gathering weekends, and it's where we have the enactment, or indeed, I should say, the inauguration of our incoming chieftain. We actually did have an enactment there in for the 700th anniversary of the Battle of Dysert OD. And when I mean by enactment, people dressed up and we had horses and bows and arrows and spears, and there was a fight in front of the castle, which was fantastic on the day. The castle is now open to the public, and there is an archaeological trail which includes 12th century St. Tola cross. And we also have a beautiful monastery with a Romanesque surround doorway, a replica of it, which is in the Natural History Museum here in Dublin. The Battle of Dysert OD took place in 1318. And as I said, we celebrated the 700th anniversary at a Clann gathering in May 2018. And that's when Conor O'D and a number of other clans, the O'Grady's and the O'Loughlin's, fought side by side and defeated Lord de Clare and a number of English knights back at that time. And we still continue to celebrate it. By and large, it was a small skirmish in the scheme of things. Our international gathering is a triennial event. We hold it every 3 years, and that gives the opportunity for some of our members in the States, if they want to organise a Clann gathering, they can do that. And interestingly enough, we have a Clann gathering in New Zealand for the first time in April of this year. And I was inaugurated as chieftain in a ceremony held in July 2022. Prior to that, the majority of our chieftains were from out of Ireland. And my slogan at the time, and I think I probably won it on this, was bringing it home. And that's exactly what I did. I brought the chieftain back to Ireland and back to County Clare. I'll take the next slide, please, Michael.
Oh, sorry. All right, here we go.
COVID was a godsend in one sense because, and that sounds like a contradiction, insofar as prior to that, we never met as an executive committee, only whenever there was a Clann gathering. And it could be very hit and miss, and trying to get things organised, not necessarily from an organisational capability in that, but coming together to decide on our constitution and our strategy and our focus. So as a result of COVID, we regularly had Zoom meetings, and that very much kept us in contact. And we still continue to do that to this day, in that we have 4 or 5 Zoom meetings from Northern and Southern Hemisphere. And that's to do with our business. It's to do with our newsletter. It's to do with membership. It's to do with our intranet site. It's to do with organising the next Clann gathering, which is scheduled for June 2028. And one of the challenges, and I won't dwell on this, but it's trying to encourage younger people to be participative in our executive and to be participative in the Clann going forward, because there is a danger that us older folk may run out of steam. So, as I said, planning is very key. I'm boots on the ground when it comes to organising activities in County Clare, dealing with local stakeholders and that. And I also have another organiser. She's based in Newry, and she's the incoming chieftain in 2028. And we work very well together insofar as that her expertise is getting lanyards, welcome packs, registrations, all that type of thing. And my strength is organising all the critical things on the ground, buses, events, liaising with Clare County Council, getting grants, dealing with Clare County Library. But I'll come back to that in more detail shortly. I work with, as I said, the key stakeholders for a clan gathering, and this is something to bear in mind. You're working from Dublin, you're dealing with people down in County Clare. You hammer home the fact that you're a native of the county. You're dealing with hotels, you're dealing with bus operators, Bunratty Castle, where we hold a banquet, Clare County Council, as I mentioned, who are really, really good insofar as we're able to get a grant from them. And also they cover our civic reception. And prior to that civic reception, we walk through the town of Ennis, escorted by An Garda Síochána, and we've two pipers playing, and it's fantastic. And for those of you who know Ennis, it's a medieval town with very narrow streets. So the sound of two pipers going up and down the streets creates a lot of sound, and it brings a lot of the shopkeepers and customers out on the street wishing us well, and even staying with us and listening to the melody of tunes that are played in the square in Ennis in front of the Daniel O'Connell monument. He was the, I suppose, Catholic member of Parliament elected for County Clare in 1828. An important thing for us is pricing for the weekend. And people will ask, who do you get? We generally get 50% repeat, and we get 50% new people coming. So it's important for people who are coming for the first time that they feel they're getting a good event for the weekend, that they're getting value for money. And the reason I say that it can be expensive to fly from Northern Hemisphere. A lot of our people come from the USA. We had 15 states represented last June. We had people from Canada, and we had a bundle of people coming from Australia, New Zealand, and we even had somebody from the Lebanon, and we had people from the UK. And it's unfortunate, but I have to say it, the Indigenous people from County Clare, I probably could count them on two hands, and it's quite difficult to encourage them to be involved because they're mantras, but it's on our doorstep. But anyway, I won't dwell on that too much. So it's important, as I said, to have a weekend where there is value for money. We have a program of events that covers the weekend. And interestingly, this program of events and activities hasn't changed hugely over the last 30 years. It works really, really well, from the welcome of the members to the march through the town, the civic reception, the music that night, the lectures that night. And we're very fortunate that we have a pub in Ennis called O'Dee's that's not too far from the hotel, the main hotel that we use, and people get to socialize, to network. And I suppose that's something that's not to be underestimated, is the camaraderie that's generated when one of these weekends happen. Now, we also find it's important that the attendees have some free time to walk the town. Last June, when we had the last Clann gathering, we had 160, 170 people attend that, which was quite large. And managing that size number, can be difficult when you're looking at buses, the cost of buses, when you're looking at accommodation. But equally, when I say free time, we were able to do some deals with the local merchants in Ennis who gave the attendees discounts if they were to buy clothes or products from their shops. And that was the first time that we had approached businesses to do that. It's important that the presentations that happen over the weekend, that they're good PowerPoint presentations. It can be a historical overview of Dysert OD and the related battle. It can be to do with the history of County Clare, or it can be to do with the genealogy of family tree and DNA lectures. Interesting topics, as I said, are very important. And last year particularly, we worked very closely with Clare County Library, and they did a whole genealogy piece for us in respect of the ODs. And we were invited to a talk there on the Friday of the weekend. And it was one of the most interesting talks that I've been at. So we collaborated with them. They were equally as keen to collaborate with us. It was a brand new library, and I think they were using it as an opportunity to showcase what had happened with us or what they had done with us, to showcase it around the world through their own intranet site. So that was absolutely fantastic. The high point of the weekend, as I briefly mentioned already, is the inauguration of the Clann chieftain at Dysert Castle. And you can see the castle there, it's in pretty good stead. And as I said, having a castle really, really helps because it's a focal point for those that are in attendance. And we have worked with Clans of Ireland in recent years. I've worked with Gearóid O'Crowley, where Gearóid has come down and he has officiated with the inauguration of our chieftain, not alone with his staff, but with the sword that the Clans of Ireland have. And he also does a middle age type ceremony that really goes down well, with the chieftain having to turn around 3 times, with the chieftain having to knock on the door of the castle and say, "Will Catagum Dulles Jock, have I permission to come in?" And seeing the chieftains, the incoming chieftain last year came from St. Charles in Missouri, but wanting to be word perfect and being able to say it properly and going through the ritual. And at one of those ceremonies a couple of years ago, somebody turned around to my wife, Marguerite, and said, "Do you know something? Coming to this alone was worth coming on the trip, just to see all that happened in relation to that." We also do a presentation to the new chieftain. We have a historian, Richard Cronin, who's our historian and has a tremendous wealth of history for Dysert and the locality. And he takes people on tours after the inauguration around the castle, around St. Tola, and around the monastery, and it's absolutely fantastic. Last year, because you never know how the weather is going, we set up a marquee for the first time with tables and chairs. We brought in food. We were able to look after everybody. And I have to say, it was just a tremendous day. I suppose the point I'm making in relation to that is we build on it every year just to make it a really good experience for those attending. And again, feeling that they're being treated well and that they're getting value for money when they come to Ireland. We do an event then on the Sunday, and that can be to the Cliffs of Moher, can be out to the Aran Islands. And last year we decided to go to the Foynes flying boat machine, which was the first time we did that. And I have to say the engagement with them was just absolutely incredible, from organising us when we got there, doing food and soup and complimentary Irish coffees. It was just a terrific experience. We also do a banquet then in Bunratty Castle. We're very lucky to have that on our doorstep, and it can cater for about 144 people, which is really good. So the Lord and Lady who have been inaugurated, or the chieftain who's been inaugurated, are treated to being Lord and Lady of Bunratty Castle for the night. And there's lots of entertainment, good food, song and dance, and it's an enjoyable experience. And finally then, on our last night, which is the Sunday night, we have a farewell banquet. And we had over 170 attend that in June of last year. And we elect the new and incoming Taoiseach at that dinner. And as I said already, Kieran will be is the incoming Taoiseach. She's originally from New Plymouth in New Zealand, currently living in Newry, and it's the first time that we'll have a chieftain from New Zealand. And finally, we ask people to do a survey to give us feedback on what went well and what didn't go well, and that's really, really important for us to look at what we're doing. So moving on, this is a present day picture just of the castle, of what it looks like. So it's very engaging. It's where somebody loves to come. There's plenty of room for cars and buses and everything. And if you can imagine all the participants standing in front of the castle and the chieftain literally telling everybody that they're now his subjects and they've got to behave. I'll move on to the next one, please. Yeah, I'll mention this very briefly. It's important that we do something on our own DNA or where we're from. This is something that I did just for my own family, particularly, and it's something that it's nice to have. I have me, my mum and dad, and I've gone back on my dad's side where I can. Now, I can go back further if I want to, and I've equally gone back on my mother's side. And that's really, I suppose, to help people with their own family trees. And it's also very helpful for my own family and where our family tree actually is and where it comes from. I'll move on again. Now, this is an interesting one, and I'll go through it as briefly as I can. We have a DNA group, and we have people putting in their various DNAs into this group. I have actually done the Y-DNA in respect of mine, and there seems to have been a little split in my DNA going back to the 15th century. And it was at a time when the O'Ds used foster sons from the O'Briens. And it would appear that my DNA has a lot of O'Brien in it as well as OD. We're not sure what happened, but we think that one of the fostered sons had some fun with an OD girl, and a baby boy was born, and the boy was reared and maintained as an OD. So one of the O'Briens who have done this, which is the Royal House of Thomond, they have put us there on the left of that, and they call us the Royal ODs because of that DNA. So yeah, and well, fortunately or unfortunately, the owner of the castle, John O'Day III, and myself have very similar DNA in respect to that O'Brien branch to it, and both of us have done the Y DNA. Lots of ODs who have done it are not necessarily coming down that line. So these are the interesting tweaks that can happen, and it certainly gives for interesting lectures, conversation, and debates afterwards. I'll move on, Michael. So I'm finishing on this slide. So last year, June 2025, we get a flag made up for our event, and we fly this proudly from the castle in Dysert OD. The reason that we have the Irish flag and the flag of America is that I was the outgoing chieftain, and the incoming chieftain was coming from St. Charles in Missouri. It wouldn't necessarily be like that every year, and it was the 700th anniversary of the Battle of Dysert OD. And I'm proud to say there's 3 generations of my OD family. There's Misha on the left, my younger son Rory with his son Kieran, and my older son Connor. And since that photograph has been taken, we have 2 grandchildren, Ethan, who has been born since, and Connor and his partner. We have another grandchild on the way. So it's just lovely to be able to show generational interest in the OD family, and that we have continuity and a legacy to show for what we have done and what we have achieved. So that's my hopefully not too long presentation, just in respect of our clan gathering. And if there's any questions, I'll take them briefly. And back to you, Michael.
Thank you, Shane. Any questions?
Real quick, I'd like to know if there's, sorry, let me turn this off.
Yes.
How many active members do you have in your clan?
That's a very good question. We have somewhere between 200 and 250 members. We have an annual subscription of €35 that we charge every 3 years. And it's encouraging new members to join. But yeah, about 200, 250 and about 160, 165 generally attend the clan gathering.
And what was the price to attend the clan gathering?
We have a firm price for the weekend, for example, of about €230. And that would include the buses, and it includes the farewell banquet, and it includes the civic reception, where people want to go on the trip on the Sunday. They would pay for that, and there might be other small incidentals that they would pay for. But that 220 plus the cost of the trip, that's all covered in that amount. We try keep it as inexpensive as we can. If we have a good number, it obviously reduces costs. But if you're going into, say, you have 160 covered 2 coaches, we were happy with that. But if you're going into a third coach, you still have to pay the full cost of that, and you have to be mindful of it. Another cost that I suppose you have to be mindful of as well is your indemnity insurance. You know, we didn't have indemnity insurance, but when I got involved about 14 years ago, I insisted that we had that for our clan gatherings, just to protect you, the committee, and indeed other people.
Okay, and one last quick question. Thank you so much. As the Curtin clan is planning their gathering for this coming October in Cork, and much of what you're doing, I think we're on the same path. I really appreciate it. Just real quick, what was your the layout? You say a weekend? Did it like start Friday night or Friday? Can you just kind of walk us through the agenda?
Yeah, we registration on Friday night. People gathered. They got their lanyards. They got the welcome packs. When all that was done, our 2 pipers arrived. We walked around the town, escorted by the local Gardaí, up and down the town. Then there was a recital in the square with the pipers. Then we went back, and there was food. And as I say, the civic reception. The councillors attended. There were speeches. We had music. We had dancers. And that continued on for a good hour, and we had a lecture as well. And people then could go to the pub. The following day was the Saturday. We went to the inauguration of the chieftain, out to the castle. People were bussed out. They had to be there at a particular time. As I mentioned already, we had the marquee, we had the inauguration, we had the food, we had the tours around the castle. And then we came back to Ennis and we had our AGM, and that was well attended. After that, then we went to Bunratty Castle for our banquet. People came back again. We had they could go to O'Dee's pub. On Sunday then, which was very important for a lot of people, we have a clan chaplain. So we had mass in the cathedral, and that went down really, really well. And then we went on our trip to Foynes. We came back. We had our farewell dinner. We basically elected the Taoiseach. We did our survey, and the following day then I think maybe 14 people played golf, and that would have been the end of our weekend.
Okay, thank you so much. And just for everyone to know, we did have a gathering in Ennis in 2019. It's been one of the most popular ones. Great town. We loved it. Thanks.
Oh, fantastic.
Okay, thank you very much, Shane. Dr. Joe, would you like to put up your presentation, please?
Will do.
Very good.
We're up and running. No. Seem to have minimized my screen here.
We see it.
It would be important for me to see it as well, Michael.
Yeah.
Don't know what happened there now.
Would you like me to run it?
Hang on a tick, Michael. I'd prefer to do it myself if I could.
Sure.
Any idea what went wrong there, Michael?
No, you don't see it? Well,
I can see a
I
very
would,
small version on top.
that's
It's
that's strange because we see it, I think everyone sees it full
Yeah.
screen.
that's marvelous.
Uh, I would suggest you close it, you stop the sharing and
Okay.
just do it again.
Okay. Okay.
That's it. Is this any better?
Yes, I think we might get by with that. Okay. Hello, everybody. Just like to welcome you all to this presentation on the gatherings of the Mannion clan, during which I'm going to be speaking about the background, development, and indeed the perpetuation of what has become for us a most enjoyable annual family history and heritage event. Now, the Mannion clan surname derives from the early medieval Gaelic family of Mannion. That is the grandson or descendant of Mannion. And Mannion, according to the records, was a 10th century king of the Sogan people who ruled over a large territory in East Galway during the early medieval period. Now, encroachment on the kingdom of Sogan over a number of centuries by Shiel Murray and Imania tribes led to the landed possessions of the Sogan people being reduced to a couple of parishes by the middle of the 17th century. And this map here, which was prepared by one of our own, Dr. Patrick Mannion, shows in light shading there the extent of the Kingdom of Sogan according to boundary points which were recorded in the 14th century Book of Imania. But this would have been now during the early medieval period. As we'll see in a moment, it was greatly reduced over a period of time. So from the 10th century to the 7th century, we had the O'Manion people. There were kings ruling this area here as kings, first of all, and then later as chiefs. To show the deterioration, if you like, or the loss of territory that occurred by the middle of the 12th century, a lot of the kingdom, as you can see there, had been taken over by more powerful local clans, such as the O'Connors and Tuam, whose whatever the territory that they had taken over was included in the diocese of Tuam when they were formed in the middle of the 12th century. There's a section then to the northeast of the kingdom, which came under, again, another Shiel Murray tribe, this time the Domhnaihll Rooney clan. And down at the bottom here, a clan who had a great influence, not always positive, on the O'Manion clan. We have the O'Kellys, and they, from after the Battle of Clontarf, spread into that particular area there. And by the middle of the 12th century, as I say, they had taken that over, and the lands that they had taken over were then included in the Diocese of Clonfert. The area that would have been under the control, if you like, the direct control of the Mannion people at the time, was literally just down to maybe 2 parishes or so in the Athenry area. And this would have been a small diocese, actually, which was attached to Tuam or taken over by Tuam along with Cong in 1152. The O'Kellys didn't leave it at that, though. About the middle of the 14th century, they captured the O'Manion stronghold at a place called Clogher in the parish of Monavea. They hanged the O'Manion chieftain, and they forced his followers to relocate to the neighbouring parishes of Mainnín and Glasgow. And this is where we find them in the middle of the 17th century, during the Cromwellian confiscations, when they lost all their lands. but there were some relocated to different parts. The vast majority of them were relocated out of the old territory of Sogan. Afterwards, of course, the landless individuals, they were not designated any lands, so they literally scattered throughout the county of Galway and into the surrounding counties, and out into Connemara, where we find the Mannion name for the first time. Moving forward a couple of centuries or 2 centuries or so to the middle of the 19th century, British valuation recorded the households that were occupied by O'Mannion people, or Mannion people as the name might have been at the time. And you can see there's a great concentration here in East Galway, as you would expect. But you can also see that they have spread into the surrounding counties, we'll say, of Mayo, Sligo, Roscommon, across the Shannon into Longford, Offaly and Tipperary, and of course out into Connemara, as I mentioned already. Now, in 2014, there was a survey done to try and establish the location, we say, the global location of the Mannion clan, because as we all know, that following the Great Hunger of the middle of the 19th century, there was mass migration. And this map here, this first map that I'm showing here, shows where the greatest concentration in the darker colours of people with the Mannion surname, that is spelled with 2 N's, were located. At the same time, you had something similar where the Mannion surname spelled with 1 N is concerned. Now, between the two of them, they recorded something in the region of 24 to 25,000 people carrying the Mannion surname. Which is not enormous, as you well know, but as well as that, when people did migrate during the 19th century, very often at the point of entry, because the vast majority, if not all of the people, were illiterate, they didn't know how to spell their name, and the clerks literally put down whatever they were familiar with. And in many cases, O'Mannion became Manning. But of greater importance, really, because it explains what happened afterwards, is that many of the Mannion people who were recorded as Mannions later, or their families later, changed the surname to Manning in order to avoid discrimination. So, conscious of the, we'd say, the well-scattered numbers of Mannion people all over the world, among whom I have some relatives myself indeed, I had often during my lifetime considered the possibility of reforming the clan and holding clan gatherings and getting people back to their homelands. As luck would have it, in 2014, a local heritage group, the Skahana District Heritage Group, invited me to give a talk on the Mannion clan in our ancestral village of Menla. And we were so delighted when we saw that up to 200 people actually turned up on the night for the talk. Now, buoyed up, if you like, by the enthusiasm that we experienced there that night, I invited a group of like-minded bearers of the Mannion name to reform the O'Mannion clan, which became the Mannion Clan Association, as we know it today. We held our first official Mannion clan gathering in Mannion's Abbey in Abbey-Knockmoy in 2015. We used the same venue in 2016. We were quite happy as a starting clan to have the numbers that we did have. In 2015, we had something over a half dozen overseas attendees, which had doubled by 2016. From 2017, we moved our location, or our venue, to Thompson's Pub in our ancestral village of Menla. And it is ideal in the sense that it is overlooking the site of the O'Mannion Chieftains Castle Complex, which, according to records of the time, tell us that it comprised of a substantial tower house with a bawn and barbican, surrounded by a medieval service village. Now, for a few years, we hosted a medieval banquet, similar indeed to what Shane was mentioning earlier there. This was located in Dungura Castle on the shores of Galway Bay, Unfortunately, that venue is no longer functioning because of health and safety reasons. Oh, I've dropped off again. I'm sorry about that. No, I don't know what I hit. Will we have to do it again, Michael?
Yes, maybe.
Maybe.
Sure.
I certainly
Yeah.
don't see. It tells me that I am sharing, but I can't see that I am. That's a pity now. My apologies.
That's all right. This is the digital world.
Yes, and some of us came late to it. Okay. That might be better. Okay, in any case, we currently we host a 3-day gathering event, and it's always on the first weekend of National Heritage Week. Day one begins on Friday evening with a traditional Irish music session by an Mannion Brothers traditional Irish group called Blasta. We then have the official opening of the Clann gathering by Galway County Heritage Officer, who, as it happens, turns out to be a Mannion. And she's been, I must say, very supportive of our gatherings and all the other ventures that we've become involved in since the association was set up. This is followed by a lecture history of the O'Manion clan by yours truly, followed by light refreshments and some time for people to mix and mingle. The evening, this is the first evening, Friday evening, concludes with a lively display of sean-nós, or old style and traditional Irish dancing by an O'Manion family group of dancers from Rossmuck in West Galway. And you can see them here in action together in the photograph at the bottom. Day two begins on Saturday morning with our guided tour of the Mannion Clan Historical Trail. This we set up in 2015. And the tour continues into the afternoon with visits to sites of memory which are associated with the O'Manion clan in medieval and early modern times. Later on in the evening, we have presentations on genealogy and DNA testing hosted in Thompson's Bar. Our day three begins with the Clan Mass, celebrated in St. Mary's Church in Mannion by Father Colm Mannion, OP, who's a native of Burr. He is currently the prior of St. Mary's Dominican Priory in Cork City. And after the Mass, we have a clan parade then from the church to the Mannion Chieftain's Castle site, led by an Irish piper. And sometimes we have a dignitary, or indeed, if not, we have a person who's been actively involved in the heritage endeavours of the clan. And there's a nice little aside here regarding the area and the distance here from the church to the castle site. It's a link up, if you like, in the sense that at the beginning of the 19th century, the O'Manion Tower House was what remained of it at the time was struck by lightning, and it's described afterwards in a number of documents as being a shattered ruin. But local people are very, very convincing when they're telling us that the stones from the O'Manion Castle were actually used to build this St. Mary's Church here that can be seen at the right, the top left-hand corner of the photograph. So following a short talk down at the castle site, we have a hands-on demonstration possibly of medieval Gaelic arms and armour on one year, and the following year we might have one on Gaelic Irish dress. And this takes place again in Thompson's Lounge Bar. This is followed then by a barbecue meal, which can be enjoyed outdoors or indoors, depending on one's preference. and or indeed the weather, as the case may be. Traditional Irish music session follows with Alan Mannion and co, and that includes multi-instrumentalist Father Colin Mannion as well, who composed a fabulous Irish reel called Back to Ballymannion. And we have adopted that reel as our clan anthem. So to conclude day 3 and indeed the clan gathering, attendees and guests perform party pieces during what we call a farewell festivities session, ranging from recitations to joke telling to singing and dancing and the playing of a variety of musical instruments. Now, attendance at the Mannion clan gatherings has been good. Overall, our experience of hosting the clan gatherings has been very positive, with an annual attendance since 2015 of between 50 and 70. We have recorded as many as 90 on one particular occasion. For a small clan, we're delighted to say that in the last 2 years, we had between 50 and 60 people on both occasions coming into us from overseas. The ratio of attendees from among the diasporas compared to Mannions here in Ireland has been approximately 2 to 1, perhaps a little bit more in the sense that we could have more some years from the diaspora rather than from home. In 2020 and 2021, we hosted virtual clan gatherings instead of in-person ones because of the COVID pandemic at the time. And this was done by compiling messages from near and far into a video which we shared online. Now, we promote our clan gatherings using the usual outlets such as mailing lists, social media, website notices, press releases, local press releases, and of course, and local radio interviews as well, and word of mouth, needless to say. So we've also found something that we did in the last 3 years. We have found that our bilingual story map has been very effective in enticing and preparing guests for attending our clan gatherings, because in it we feature texts, photographs, podcasts, and indeed videos, which recount the unique history and cultural heritage of our Mannion ancestors. We were fortunate in that funding for the Mannion Clan Story Map project was made available to us through a Heritage Council grant. And we also got sponsorship from Gaeilge Lochriach to translate the original English texts into Irish. And finally, the project was crucially supported by the Heritage Council of Galway County Council. For anybody who might be interested in checking out the story map, if you search the Mannion Clan Historical Trail or Cunrastara Clonny Iwanyin, you'll get the information there. Now, concordant with and indeed contingent upon the holding of regular clan gatherings was the perpetuation of the Mannion Clan heritage. In 2015, we published a booklet with a concise history of the Mannion Clan, which contained details and photographs of the sites and monuments which had been associated with the clan since medieval times. In the following years, through various fundraising activities and donations received during our annual clan gatherings, we erected carved stone signage on the main approach roads to the village of Domhnaihll. Now, in the process, we actually restored the original Irish language name, which is Mianlach Iwanyin, meaning the small loch of the Mannions. Close by, we erected a carved stone limestone plaque, which depicts Domhnaihll Castle and the associated little loch in the revamped and renamed Páirc Iwanyin. The little loch of the Mannions, which, as I said, gave the village its original Irish language name, can still be seen during inclement weather at any time of year, indeed. We also erected a carved name stone at nearby Balla Iwanyin, or Ballymannion Road Junction, along with information board detailing the significance of the area to the Mannion clan in times past. Now, since establishing the Mannion Clan Historical Trail in 2015, we designed and arranged for the erection of directional and interpretive signage at the principal sites of memory associated with the clan. And this one here, Cloncorrine Castle, was the first on the list. In the photograph here in the bottom right, you can see in the background this mound, if you like, with large stones or groups of stones or parts of the castle that have remained. And in front, two individuals. First of all, one of our own here on the left, this is Dr. Lydia Mannion. She's the current secretary of the Mannion Clan Association. And on the right is Mr. Jim Laffey. He is the PRO of Skahana District Heritage Group. And that Heritage Group sponsored and directed the signage here, which was gave us a great start. So similar signage was erected by us in this case at Ramor Ceremonial Mound, where Brehon Law deed was drawn up for two branches of the O'Manion clan in May 1584. Now, we're very fortunate in that the original document is still available in Trinity in Dublin, and we featured a photograph of it here in the centre of the information board. A fingerpost sign and information panel were erected at the O'Manion Chieftain's Castle site in Menla. And the board itself, or the information panel, can be seen here on the left at the bottom. And also to be seen there is one of our diaspora from California, who is very emotionally and proudly walking upon the site of the castle. Indeed, she's walking in the footsteps of her O'Manion ancestors. On the right is a piece of art that we commissioned. It's an artist's impression of what Menla Castle and the little lake and the service village might have looked like. It's the work of Sydney-based architect, again, one of our own, Sarah Mannion. Directional interpretive signage was erected at the battle site in Fanur, near Loch Ray in recent times, where an O'Manion king of Sogan was slain in 1135. The photograph in the centre is of the group in 2024 who were on the tour. And this was the last stop on the tour, and the signage was officially unveiled on that particular day. Now, also present on that day were three different families from one particular branch of the Mannion clan, whose ancestor originated not too far away indeed from here. They sponsored the signage and the work that went with it. This is Kilconnell Abbey near Ballinasloe, which, if you like, was where the original Mannion story officially ended, because this became the burial place of the last recorded chief of the name of the O'Manion clan. Within the walls, he was buried with two near kinsmen of his own from the Menla area. Now, the O'Manion chief's tomb is still to be seen. It's on the north wall of the choir in the abbey, and it has an engraved or an inscribed grave slab symmetrically placed in front of it. The inscription is in Latin, and in English it reads something like this: "Pray for the souls of Thomas, son of Hugh Mannion, John, son of Malachy Mannion, William, son of Hugh Mannion, all from Menla, who had this tomb made for themselves and their posterity in the year of our Lord 1648. And just to finish up, let me say that our attendees love coming to our clan gatherings, with many of them having returned time and again to renew old acquaintances and indeed to make new family connections. One of the most rewarding aspects of these annual get-togethers for us as a committee is witnessing the depth of emotion generated in so many people by the experience of walking in the footsteps of their O'Manion forebears. So a word of advice for any clan organisation who might be contemplating holding clan gatherings in the future. We would strongly recommend that they do so without delay. The rewards for attendees and the hosts will be immense. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Goramila Mahagwif.
Thank you, Dr. Joe. This is great. I just have one question. Other people may have questions as well.
Yes, Michael.
You mentioned getting funding from the Heritage Council. How long was that process? I mean, when you started it, were you welcome by the council, and how long did that process take place?
We applied for funding. We started the work on the story map in, I think it was October of 2023. We applied for funding early in 2024, and in spite of being quite confident really about everything, we were refused the first year. We were refused in 2024, but so we reapplied in 2025, and we got funding to do it. Now we had done the groundwork in the sense that we had the story map up and running in 2024. We still went ahead and we did it in spite of the fact we didn't get funding, but it was just text and photographs. So the funding that we got last year allowed us to produce 14 videos, some in Irish and some in English. It's bilingual, and I think it was 8 podcasts as well that we did, 4 Irish and 4 English. So the money didn't come immediately, but it did come. We also got money from Gaelga Riach, which was great because it helped us to pay for a professional translation of the English texts into Irish.
Thank you. Any other questions? Very compelling. Okay. Thank you very much.
Very welcome.
Can you stop sharing, please? Very good. And I think now we have Frank O'Donnell. You're going to be speaking. Is that correct?
Yes. Hello, good evening. I am here with Patrick O'Donnell.
Hello.
Who, if anybody could look like Red Hugh O'Donnell, I think he might just fit the bill.
I've been working on the beard.
I hope he's not going to end up the same way.
Certainly not.
On holiday in Spain.
Exactly. Now, I'm going to speak for how long, Michael, will you allow me? Can't hear you. You're mute.
Yeah, I'm mute. 15 minutes, would that be okay?
I will certainly try and oblige. So I did send you, but belatedly, the PowerPoint, but if you didn't get it, I will. Oh, sorry, this is somebody calling me. Sorry, Matt, I'm on another call. Yeah, okay, I will do my share screen if that's okay then.
Sure.
If we can do that. Oh God, why do these things have to be so complicated? No.
I just need a name.
Is that it? Yeah. Oh, for fuck's sake. Let's see. Sorry, this is very complicated. I don't know why it's going like this. Why can't I just share what's on the damn screen? If I say share screen, it should work, no?
Yeah, and if your presentation is open, you will see it, and you
It's
just
open.
have to. So you just have to click on it.
Do you see it? You don't see it.
I don't see it.
Sorry. Okay.
I just need to use the password then.
This is becoming very cumbersome. You help me out here if you know how.
So, did it say? So it says to enable Google Chrome.
Yeah, so we can.
So you have to
enable that,
and then you just need to use
okay,
your password.
I'll do that. Yeah. Bear with us.
Sure.
This may not work. I don't know. There are too many passwords in life.
There you are.
Yes.
Does that work? Quit and reopen one.
Oh, you need a.
No, it doesn't work.
Do you need to close the window and then?
Yeah, you may have to close and reopen.
Yeah.
Really? Oh, damn it. Sorry, folks. Maybe we would just.
Sure.
I did send it to you as a PowerPoint.
I did not get it. Hang on.
You didn't get it. Okay.
No.
By email, I sent that.
No.
I don't know. This is. Okay, we'll try this one more time.
Oh, okay.
Do you have it?
Yeah, I think so. I need to reopen my mail.
Did you
Hang on.
reopen it?
Which?
So you just save.
Which and reopen, or is it?
Yeah.
Okay. It's opening.
Maybe close that.
Yes, I have it. So do you want me to share it on my screen? There you go. Is that good? Can you see it, Frank? Oh, Frank is disconnected. Okay. Well, now here is. Frank? Mm-hmm. So, I think Frank has left. No? Okay. Let's wait a few minutes. Yeah, he's going to come back, I guess. Anyone has any question in the meantime? Is this to your satisfaction? I think we have two great presenters. Yeah. Absolutely.
Michael,
Yes.
I think for the summit, there's been this similar confusion on slideshows, slides. So perhaps if we can stress to the presenters that if they're using slides to send us the PowerPoint or however they've formatted it 2 days in advance.
Sure. You're right. Um, and it seems that Kieran has lost the Zoom invite, so I have to resend it. Frank, you back?
Yeah, sorry.
That's good.
We lost you there. Now, did you manage to find my PowerPoint? Because
yeah, it should be. You should be seeing it.
Okay, good. Yeah, perfect. Okay,
okay, let's go.
Let's go. Sorry about that.
No, that's all right.
This technology is changing my neurons and my synapses. Anyway, so the O'Donnell clan, we're a pretty old one. Our clan association was set up originally in 1954 at Easter at Untostal in Donegal. And you can see on the right of this slide the original brochure for Easter 1954. Now, I was born in March 1954, and my father, I'm the firstborn of my father's family, and he was a Tralee man, and Pat O'Donnell here also has Tralee ancestry, but both of us claiming to have come originally from Donegal or from Tyrconnell. And my father, after I was born, suddenly became a bit more interested in genealogy and ended up at this first clan regathering in 350 years or thereabouts in Donegal, and was involved with the clan association through the rest of his life, and I became later involved some decades later. So, so this is how we came about. We are now basically a 72-year-old clan association, but we have gone through several changes over the years and reinvented and rewrote our constitutions. And our biggest and latest one was in 2024 when we had a clan rally in Donegal. We invited other clans for a parade of clans through Donegal town in June, and we coincided it with the feast of Columcille, Saint Columba, who was one of the Kennel Chunnel from whom we come, who is the patron of our clan, but also one of the patron saints of Scotland, and of course the founder of the great famous monastery in Iona, from whence many famous things may have come, including An Cach, or the Battle Book, which is Ireland's oldest manuscript and can be seen in the Royal Irish Academy in Dawson Street. And the Cúndach, or the book shrine for that, is in the National Museum in Kildare Street. So you have on the right here, you have in the centre the Clans of Ireland emblem, and on the right of that in hoc signo vinces, which is a representation of what is the badge of the Clan Association, although it was initially believed to have been designed by the Chief Herald. It was by the person of the Chief Herald, but not by the office. And so it has never been formalized with the Chief Herald's office. But it harkens back to the origin of the coat of arms of the O'Donnells, which goes back in its essence 1,500 years, though normalized, and I'll come back to that again. The Inhoxin Vinche is coming from the famous conversion of Emperor Constantine the Great, 1800 or thereabout a year ago, in Rome, where before the Battle of the Milvian Bridge, he had a vision in the sky of what was described as a cross. It might have been a sundog as an atmospheric phenomenon. And he then converted to Christianity, but more importantly, he issued the Edict of Milan, which brought about religious freedom throughout the Roman Empire. And St. Patrick, when he came to Ireland, inspired by the conversion of Constantine the Great, used this to convert Conall O'Neill, the son of Neil Nigelly, Niall of the Nine Hostages, to Christianity, and telling him that he would have this cross on his shield and follow this motto, and he would always be victorious. And we've understood that to be not so much a battle cry as a commitment to a vocation to the spirituality of the Christian or the Catholic Church in our recent case. So next slide, please, if you can, Michael.
Yeah, I'm trying to do that.
Okay.
Let me see. I may have to. Let's see. Yes. Here we go.
Good. Right. Now, if we can put that full screen somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Good. So what you have on the right is the map of Ireland. The blue area is the original heartland of Tír Conall, the land of Conall, the son of Niall of the Nine Hostages, the king who had kidnapped St. Patrick. And around that, various areas of influence, the turquoise being our blue being our essential sovereignty, the green a form of suzerainty over various centuries on and off, and the yellow being various allegiances to the O'Donnells of Tír Conall, depending on the historic circumstances. And in the footnotes to this, you will find the sources, the Annals of the Kingdom of Ireland, and other sources there. Now, it's very important for us to realize that the O'Donnell sway historically at its greatest extent was equivalent to the size of Lebanon or Cyprus today as two comparator states. And also Tír Conall was perhaps the latest or last Gaelic principality or kingdom, depending on how you want to see it, to prevail before the final conquest of 1602 or 1601 at the Battle of Kinsale. Now, we have in a rich heritage like this an enormous number of myths and beliefs. And what I have tried to do over the decades is conduct some research, my own personal research, and learn more about what's fact-based and what is not fact-based. And so that's why the title of this slide is Critical Experiences and Useful Resources, but the subtitle, Towards a Knowledge-Based Community and Heritage, trying to find out how much of our beliefs about our origins, our genealogy and our history are grounded in fact, and how much are perhaps mythological, brought out sometimes by John O'Donovan in his work for the Ordnance Survey in the middle of the 19th century. So differentiating history from mythology, corroborating the research and documenting it has been a large part of what we have tried to do in recent years with the O'Donnell Clan Association. And for this purpose, I would like to just make reference to a few things, but let me begin here with Walt Disney and The Fighting Prince of Donegal, which is the story of Red Hugh O'Donnell. This movie came out in the 1960s. It is very mythological, and there are many flaws with the movie. Peter McHenry starring in the role of Red Hugh with a wonderful English accent. Susan Hampshire being the very, very beautiful princess, Gordon Jackson and others. This movie was not a great success at the time, but it's an interesting little thing to see how the O'Donnell story came to some prominence in Hollywood. Now, over the decades, Vincent O'Donnell, a teacher of Inver in Donegal, played an enormous role in the O'Donnell clan. He passed away a few years ago. He had been the secretary and the principal organizer, got us into Clans of Ireland, wrote quite a bit, gathered together the histories of the Austrian and Spanish branches of the family, and published 2 booklets. One, the O'Donnells of Tyrconnell, actually, as he put it at that time, the O'Donnells of Tyrconnell, and a follow-up with the English version of Tyrconnell, the O'Donnells of Tyrconnell, and a concise history of the O'Donnell clan. For a quick and easy read of the main, most best-known Spanish and Austrian noble branches, these 2 documents are very, very good. So especially on the indigenous Larkfield and other branches as well, the Mayo O'Donnells, the Roscommon and Leitrim O'Donnells, and obviously the Donegal O'Donnells, but also the O'Donnells in Austria, Spain, to some extent, those in other parts of the world as well. But what it does not cover is the O'Donnells of France, nor the O'Donnells who ended up in Kerry in Ardfert. And I came out with a booklet on this, Domhnaihll, Legend and Legacy, but this was a precursor of almost 700 pages that was finally published with a different title, The O'Donnells of Tyrconnell, A Hidden Legacy, by Academica Press in Washington and in London, 750 pages, illustrated with an enormous number of genealogies and photographs. And I won't dwell any further on it than to say it's still available, and it was well received, and it was, I would say, also shared with genealogists and historians for peer review. I expected a lot of criticism. Instead, I got a lot of helpful hints and an overall endorsement of the book. And that led to me being at some point appointed or elected president of the Genealogical Society of Ireland, and later on, 2 years ago, president of the O'Donnell Clan Association. After a hiatus of several years after the death of Vincent O'Donnell, the Clan Association was pretty well dormant, and we had to revive it. And I did this with the support of the Austrian Spanish branches and the membership across the world, as well as including here in Ireland. Now, one of the things that has been touched on by the previous speakers is heraldry and coats of arms. And we will come to that in a moment with, I think, probably the next slide. But just simply to say, the clan, of course, politically came to an end around 1602, revived in 1954, had another reiteration in 1987, 1999, and then 2024, we had the last clan gathering and adopted a new constitution, which is very detailed, and established a new clan council. The members of the clan council are, we have 2 honorary patrons. We do not have at the moment a chieftain or chief. And I will explain why that is the case. It's because there has been a certain amount of rivalry between different groups claiming some ascendancy as the genealogically senior group. I am descended from a cadet branch who happened to have been the last ruling branch in Donegal, and they had the earldom and the principality, and the more genealogically senior ones went abroad and became the Dukes of Tetuan, the Marquess of Abispal, the Counts of Lucena in Spain, or the Habsburg Counts O'Donnell von Tyrconnell of the Holy Roman Empire in Austria. So we agreed between ourselves last year, in order to keep the peace and to keep the Clan Association inclusive, that we would have 2 honorary co-patrons. And they both agreed to this. And I was very happy that they did, because it wasn't obvious that they would. And they are, respectively, His Excellency Hugo O'Donnell, the 7th Duke of Tetuan, a grandee of Spain, and Douglas Count O'Donnell von Tyrconnell of Austria, with whom my family have been in touch for the better part of 70 years. Now, we have a clan council, and on the clan council, in addition to myself, We have Vice President Maria Angeles O'Donnell Olson in San Diego in California. She is a first cousin of the Duke of Tetuan. She is Spanish, and she has been the honorary consul of Spain in California for a number of years, for which she got the Order of Isabella la Católica from the Spanish government in recognition of her service. The treasurer for our clan is Frank Hannigan, who is basically genetically one of the MacMenamin families. These are not to be confused with Yehudi Menuhin, the famous violinist, or Hudi MacMenamin in Donegal, who used to crack jokes about his name. The MacMenamins are a branch of the O'Donnells who were at some point outcast, and they adopted that name, but they are genetically O'Donnells historically, and we're very glad to have them back in the clan again as legitimate members. The secretary and genealogical specialist, Eileen O'Connor Coonan, will now be supported, and to some extent, Pat O'Donnell beside me here will take over a lot of that work. On outreach to septs, John McCaffrey in New Zealand, McCaffrey coming from Mac Caffar, son of Caffar O'Donnell, another O'Donnell, but with a different name. So you see that the O'Donnells branched out, and subsects or septs of them have taken other names. And then Daniel O'Donnell in Santa Monica in California is our digital specialist. And another council member is Hugo O'Donnell y Armada, who is the Marquess of Abispal, and he is the son of the Duke of Tetuan. Now, we will go on now to the next publication. Yes, you had it there.
This one?
That's it. This is Memorializing Emigre Dignity. In the process of my research on the clan, I came across an ancestor's burial in the Irish College in Louvain. He was the first person to be buried there in the chapel in about 1620. And he is a nephew by one relationship and a first cousin by others of Red Hugh O'Donnell, the famous Red Hugh of Kinsale, and also of the first Earl of Tyrconnell, Rory O'Donnell. And this person, Domhnaihll Og O'Donnell, was a captain in Spanish service in Spanish Flanders, which is Belgium today. He died and was buried there. And we believe he had a remnant in Ardfert in Kerry, and the genealogy carries on from there. But as I researched this and visited the Irish College in Louvain, or in Leuven, several times, with others, we discovered that although it is now a secularized institute for the Irish in Europe, and the Franciscans are no longer associated with it as of a few decades ago, there was an absence of an appropriate memorial to the many Irish who are laid to rest there. And those many Irish consist of about 75 different Irish family names or clans, and 250 people buried there, some of the most famous Gaelic people of our heritage, let's say. It has been remarked by one of the Franciscan historians as the place with the largest concentration of historically renowned individuals. So this booklet, which we brought out, is based on a webinar that I organized in October 2020 in lieu of a conference that could not be held because of the COVID pandemic at the time. And it took us several years to get the presentations together, and we launched it in the Royal Irish Academy on the 5th of September last year with the support of Clans of Ireland for the printing of and publication, and also with the support of the Clann, the Irish Family History Centre, and with the O'Donnell clan itself and others. So this is still on sale, and you can find it on the website of the Genealogical Society. It is fully illustrated with lots of information, and also on the burials that are associated there. And as we are coming up to St. Patrick's Day, this is a great gift to think of giving to your family or friends. And it's modestly priced at €20 online on the Genealogical Society's website. So that brings me, probably I've gone beyond my limit, but Michael is a very tolerant man. And you will see here, you can find, apart from the O'Donnell website, o'donnell.com, On academia.edu, I have a page with a lot of stuff, a lot of political stuff, but a lot of cultural stuff as well. 378 different works or articles or publications. And that's where you will find a lot more information, including a bibliography of 50 pages of materials and historical documents that relate to the O'Donnell clan. The last picture you see here is our clan gathering in 2024, when a group of us got together in Loch Eska Castle and we had our gala dinner. That's why you see all these finely dressed people looking absolutely marvelous. So thank you very much. This is a bit different from the other presentations, but basically trying to bring to you the richness of the heritage and the diversity of people involved, and also the challenges that we face. I should have mentioned that we have had parades and clan rallies and many other things going on, podcasts and so on. But hopefully you will see the actual PowerPoint and be able to follow up. Thank you, Michael. Thank you, everybody.
I thank you very much. Great improvisation, lots of great content. I may add for the little story that the Irish regiments that were serving the King of France chose the motto of the O'Donnells, and it was on their flags.
Mhm.
You know, that's quite interesting. It's a nice continuation as well. Okay.
I actually forgot my most important point on that score, which is that my book documents the French O'Donnell counts who went extinct in 1879. And I am hoping to bring out a French language version of that fairly soon.
And actually, this is just talking about family. From my mother's side, they were living with Count O'Donnell or near. They were called O'Neill, and they changed their name at the Revolution to Champion, which is a
Okay.
and that's how they survived. And they took the hills. Anyway,
Very good.
thank you very much.
Merci.
Do you have any questions? We're running over time, but that's a good sign. No questions? All right. Kieran, you're ready. You're back from the States. You managed.
Yes, I apologize for being delayed. I had a little complication with internet capabilities
That's okay.
here. But I'm glad to be here.
I'll share your slides.
Yeah, in
Right.
just a moment. So, you know, if you can share my slides, I appreciate that. So I'm just going to give you a little brief history of the Dubhda clan, or the O'Dowd clan, which we are commonly known as. And we reestablished our clan in 1990 when the first clan gathering occurred in Inishcrone since the 1500s. First of all, I'd like to thank Connor McHale and his lovely mother, Gertie McHale, because if it weren't for them, and also for Patty and Chris Tuffy and many, many others who live in Inishcrone, we would not currently have an O'Dowd or O'Dowd clan. They were the ones who actually revived it. In 1990, the O'Dowdas or the O'Dowds came together in the beach ocean village of Inishcrone from Wales, Scotland, and England, the United States, Australia, Canada, and Zambia. At that time, we did not have something called the internet that was widely used with the common folk. And so hundreds and hundreds of letters were sent out, primarily by Gertie McHale and Connor McHale and many others from Inishcrone, inviting individuals to come to Inishcrone to, if they were members of the O'Dowd clan or descendants of the O'Dowd clan. And at that point in time, it was deemed, the first gathering was held and it was deemed a huge success. And they decided that they were going to, and they agreed that they were going to reconvene during the Clans of Ireland Homecoming Festival in 1992, which they did. And at that point in time, they also decided that they agreed on convening again every 3 years. Of course, there were a few stumbles here and there. They also did a special bicentennial commemoration in 1998, but they've had a gathering every 3 years with the exception of during COVID. In I'm sorry, in 2018, I was inaugurated as the first woman to become the Taoiseach in the O'Dúda clan, and I'm the only one who's had a 4-year term because of COVID. But since then, we've also had a gathering in 2022 and most recently in 2025 in Inishcrone. Our next gathering will be in October of 2028, also in Inishcrone in County Sligo. And we're looking forward to having lots and lots of O'Dowds from around the world come and join us. When we first began meeting, sponsors were found to help with the funding. As you know, it's very expensive to hold an event like this. Initially, the Northwest Tourism Organization, with the support of advertisers, including once upon a time Allied Irish Bank, and local participants assisted. But as you can imagine, it's unsustainable to have that type of fundraising. So over time, funding has been supported by those attending the gatherings and by donations to the clan through our membership dues, which we do have membership dues. I don't know if all clans do, but we do have membership dues. The O'Dowd clan has also become a registered charitable organization. And at the first gathering at the first gatherings and from then into the most recent tours to all the local sites were established. And one of the most significant tours is what we call the castle tour. It's always full. As many as 17 castles at one time were owned by the O'Dúda clan. As you can imagine, it's been not only exhausting in many cases, but thrilling to bring all of these people from around the world to our clan gatherings. We had one this last October, and we had more than 150 participants from around the world. We had noted speakers there as well, as we do every clan gathering. But I want to stress this. This is the most important thing, I believe, is that we have clan gatherings to bring people home to Ireland. When I first attended my first clan gathering, there were only 58 people there. And I made it my point to really stress how important it was that we be more inclusive, that we reach out through all media formats, whether it be a Facebook page or an Instagram account or a newsletter or email, that we have to stay in contact. And one of the things that we did, even during COVID, is that we had Zoom calls to the point where on St. Patrick's Day, starting in Australia, we had a 24-hour Zoom call where we just connected with everyone that we knew of that were O'Dowds, and many of them are very, very gifted, both musically and artistically. So it was quite a fun evening, actually quite a fun 24-hour period of time. And it's memorable. Lots of people remember that. I'm the one who had to stay on for the 24-hour period, as I was the Taoiseach at the time, and we established it then. Just a few other notes. When we have these gatherings, we also have to have gatherings throughout the world, not just in Inishcrone or not just in Ireland, but we need to really broaden our horizons and make sure that we are inclusive. We have promoted gatherings and have had events in Chicago, in Boston, Quebec City, Canada. And I'd like to really point out that there's a family of O'Dowds in Melbourne, Australia, that have an O'Dowd Day every year, where they celebrate the O'Dowds that are worldwide and their great-grandparents who actually arrived in Australia. And it's quite an event. I've been to 2 of them, and I was very pleased to be able to attend. When I mentioned the 24-hour call that we had, when we did that, we wanted to not only celebrate St. Patrick's Day, but we wanted to celebrate our Irishness every day. And that's something that's easy to do. I recently was informed by one of our Clans of Ireland members, the O'Flanagan clan, who don't have a clan gathering on a regular basis, but they do have a clan, either a dinner or a luncheon every year on the same day, wherever you are and you're in O'Flanagan. And they suggest that pictures and videos are taken and that they send them to the website so that they can share their Irishness with each other. And I think this is something that every clan can do. It's a matter of wanting to do it and getting the group to actually execute it. It's something that everyone can do it. I just really want to stress how important it is that we stay connected, not within your own clan, but also through Clans of Ireland. If you're not a member of Clans of Ireland, you can certainly join. But if you're having a gathering of your clan, please let us know so that we can promote it, because it's so very important to do that. And you can reach out to me or Michael. You can reach out to me through treasure@clansofireland.ie. And I'm sure Michael will have more information on that as well. But very proud to be an O'Dowd. I've been, and I'm actually moving to Ireland, and that's why I'm here right now, is to set up my cottage. But it's so very important that we stay connected within your own. And if you don't have a clan gathering within your group and you want more information, I've been an event planner for our clan gatherings, and I know others have been as well. So I'm sorry to be so late in joining this group, but it's been my pleasure. Thank you.
Well, maybe if I can add a few things, because I've been at the O'Dowd last clan gathering, I was very impressed. One of the things, it seems to be common to, all we see as successful clan gathering. The O'Dowd take advantage of all the archaeology and monuments that there is on the site. And certainly, aside from all the history books that have been written over the years, there is the O'Dowd Castle that is overlooking the sea. It was originally an O'Dowd castle, but I think it was purchased or acquired by Domhnaihll. And we can see that the architecture has a little bit of a Scottish transverse flavor as it's been revamped. But also the inauguration of the Taoiseach is on the mount it's a stone circle, Neolithic stone circle that overlooks the sea, which is about 300 yards from the castle. Interesting. And what is striking, you can see the newly elected Taoiseach. He has green hair, which I think is fantastic.
He's very young as well. He's
it's a combination of Neolithic archaeological site and modern. But you don't know, maybe 2,000 years the Irish used to dye their hair in a different color, not necessarily green. But in any case, what was very striking is that this assembly, I think this is the council, a little bit more than the council, but the council is in a circle following the rim of the megalithic stone circle. And the baton or the white wand is passed hand in hand from one to the other until it is given to the Taoiseach. And it's a very strong symbol of an election and allegiance of loyalty, in a way, to the Taoiseach.
So when you are elected to become the Taoiseach and then become the Taoiseach in the O'Dowd clan, the incoming Taoiseach has the ability of choosing whatever site they want to have their inauguration at. And they've been all over that area. I chose to have my inauguration on the waterfront, the beach, which is a 5-kilometer beach in Inniscrone. So if you've not been there, come and join us. It's a beautiful, beautiful beach. And it's really rather cold right now, but in the summertime, it's much more pleasant. Our next gathering is in 2028, and our Taoiseach will then become our Taoiseach will then become the Taoiseach, and that is something that is we always look for the best and brightest to lead our organization and our clan.
And finally, what I found also interesting is that during the clan gathering, the O'Dowd give classes in Irish. Basic Irish, but fun Irish, such as everyday Irish, but also colloquial Irish and expressions that are very, the French would say, flowered expressions.
Well, Michael,
that was very successful. That was very successful. About 80 people attended this.
Don't
So there
forget,
was,
Michael, at the same time, they're also offering Irish whiskey tasting and also how to pour the perfect Guinness. So it was quite an evening, one of the many evenings of the gathering. So, and we actually have speakers. We actually have a renowned archaeologist who is no Dowd. Actually, her last name is Dowd.
yeah.
She's from County Sligo as well, and she speaks often about the different archaeological sites throughout the region and multiple books that she's written as well. Her name is Marion Dowd, and if you need a great speaker, she'll reach out to her. She'd be
So
an incredible speaker for you.
Thank you, Kieran. Sorry. I think we really, we ran out of time a long time ago, which is good. It's a great sign. Do you have any questions? Anyone has any questions? Generally speaking, whether it's to Kieran, to Frank, to Shane, I think Joe has left, or to Joe. No? So was this interesting?
Oh, there's a question.
Thank you very much.
Yeah? Okay. So I think what we can, as takeaways, simple takeaways for clan gathering. Well, first, they built on individual initiatives to start small and they grow over time. They're enriched. There is a combination of coming home, as Kieran said, and Shane mentioned that as well. And Joe also mentioned that the ratio 2-to-1 of people coming from overseas, whereas locals is replicating itself over time. But what is also important to remember is about, and I think this is constant, 50% of the people that come to the gathering come back.
Often.
And there is a sense of community, of shared heritage that we celebrate for 2 or 3 days together. The combination also with the territory and the monuments is extremely important because you make history a living thing. It's not only something of the past, it's a living thing. And an historical trail, as the Mannion clan has developed, you also have the same with the O'Dowd and the OD, and of course the Domhnaihll, so prominent. I think is really important, and the historical content is also important. The friendly atmosphere, so punctuated, tours punctuated by presentation, but also nice dinner and drinks and fun is great.
Something
So
you
I
should
would like
also
to-
know,
Sorry?
Michael, can I just add this as well? So if you're having a clan gathering and you would like to have individuals from clans of Ireland attend, we also have a ceremonial sword that we'll be happy to loan out for your event. I'm sure Michael will be happy to bring that.
Sure.
But it's beautiful, and people, especially if you're coming from a foreign country, when I say foreign, outside of Ireland, they love that. They just really jump onto that, and they want to have their photograph taken, and it's just another option for you. That there are options that we have with Clans of Ireland that we're happy to help you with.
And the last element is at some moments there should be some gravitas and ceremonial aspects, in particular when you're inaugurating the next Taoiseach, the incoming Taoiseach. Of course, if you have the chance that the clan can have access to a castle like the OD clan, this is quite impressive. That ceremonial, I think, is very good to have because it is one of the peak of the gathering. Okay, and of course, it doesn't have to be huge, but that element is part of the clan gathering, and people love it. So do not hesitate to go along that path.
I have a question, Michael. I apologize again for being late, but was there any discussion on how people fundraise for their gatherings?
There was one question. Yes, the contribution of each attendee. Some plans, Frank, thank you very much. we'll speak soon. Some clans actually have associations. So to be a member of the association, they pay a fee. That can be 10 euros, $20. Others don't.
So is there any fundraising at the gathering for the future of clan gatherings?
No,
For
not that I
example,
know.
we have in the past, not so much this last one, but in the past we've done auctions where individuals bring items that they want to donate that have some value to the clan.
Yeah.
And we auction them off. One of the things that we're doing at the next auction in 2028 is we will have our own Irish whiskey, which will have our own clan logo
Oh.
on it and the history on
Oh.
one side of it. So it's in the cask right now. It's mulling away, so it'll be available. And people want to take that home. They really want those kind of things. And it's one way of funding your own clan and assisting with clan gatherings in the future.
Mhm. Okay.
I would love to ask, excuse me, this is Nick in California.
Hi, Nick.
If anyone has done like sponsorships for the gathering where people or companies donate a money and maybe they sponsor the wine at the dinner or maybe they sponsor a bus or something like that. Has anyone done that before?
Yeah, in my clan, the Crowley clan, because in Bantry there was a famous, well, there is still a famous, but the owner of the pub, Crowley pub, was very friendly to the clan. He actually provided the wine basically free for the banquet or little money. So that was a sponsorship. And he passed away, but his son is continuing that. That's the only example that I know. Well, we also hired, and that was financed by Baltimore, an old sailboat to actually do the coming back home of Spanish Crowleys that had immigrated in 18th century to Spain. And so they embarked on that sailboat and came ashore, Baltimore Harbor, where they were welcomed by the clan. And that sailboat didn't cost us anything. So it's really a matter also of developing relations with local authorities. Shane O'D mentioned the partnership they had with the County Clare Library in Ennis that did a presentation on the material they had regarding the OD clan. But this is built over time, of course. And finally, Kieran, and finally, Dr. Joe Mannion mentioned access to the heritage funds to do to finalize their story map with podcasts and videos in Irish and English.
Yes, when we initially started our clan gatherings, we actually did have some advertisers because we actually produced a booklet each time. And we stopped doing that because it's now available on our website. All of that information is. So it's really, it's not sustainable to find groups that will be willing to sponsor an event, especially in smaller villages like Inniscrone. And perhaps in larger areas, it's better. But right now in Inniscrone, during off season, it's just they're all trying just to make it through the winter, and we have our gatherings in October.
Okay.
I want to see that, Frank.
I really thank all our speakers. I mean, this is great to have you. Definitely for your time and effort to present. I think we're all passionate about this, but still, thank you very much. Remember, this is recorded, so if it's still okay for you, we'll post it appropriately with Chris, and we may want to post the slides that we presented on our website. That's okay with you. All right, I will close the call, and then I can have my whiskey.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. Take care. Bye.